Welcome, myself Mr. Santosh Lukare from Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering of Maratha Vidyaprasarak Samajas Karmavir Advocate Baburao Ganpatrao Thakre, College of Engineering, Nasik. Today we will discuss about the frequency response of lag compensator in this session. The outline, the objectives, outcome, frequency response of typical lag compensator, reference. The objective of this session is to study the Bode diagram of the phase lag compensator. Outcome. At the end of this session, the students are able to derive the magnitude and phase value of the lag compensator. Figure shows the pole zero configuration and the Bode plot for the phase lag network. So, in the figure it is observed that the pole is nearer to the origin and the zero is more away from the origin. So, this is the pole zero diagram for lag compensator, and the right hand side of the figure it indicates the magnitude and phase plot, which is plotted with respect to the frequency, which is ranging from some small value to the high value. So, this magnitude and phase plot is shown in the figure. There are two vertical axes for the magnitude and phase plot. The left side indicates the magnitude values that lies between minus 20 dB to plus 20 dB with 0 dB as a mean value, and the right hand side it shows us the values of angle or phase, that is from 0 degree to minus 180 degree, and those values of magnitude and phase are plotted with respect to the frequency axis, that is omega. And on frequency axis it is observed that 1 by beta t is the lower corner frequency and 1 by t is the upper corner frequency. We know that the value of beta is always greater than 1, so here we assume that beta is equal to 10, then 1 by beta t is nothing but 0.1 divided by t. So 1 by t divided by 0.1 divided by t, so the ratio between these two frequencies is 10. So those frequencies are decade apart from each other, and over that decade the magnitude of the lead compensator drop downs from 0 dB to minus 20 dB. So there is a 20 dB per decade roll down in the magnitude response, and the maximum phase maximum phase lag is recorded at the mid corner frequency, and that is phi suffix m. So why it is called as a phase lag or negative phase angle? Because the output waveform lags the input waveform, and it gives us the maximum phase lag at mid corner frequency, and with the highest possible value is phi suffix m, or you can call it as a phi m. So this is about the magnitude and the phase plot of the typical lag compensator along with its pole zero diagram. So this you can call a ideal magnitude and phase plot of the lag compensator. So this can be well analyzed in terms of mathematical equations. The transfer function of lag compensator can be expressed as Laplace transform of output U of s upon Laplace transform of input, that is Ei of s, is equal to 1 plus st upon 1 plus s beta t. In sinusoidal form, we can replace s by j omega. So Gc of j omega is equal to 1 plus j omega t upon 1 plus j omega beta t. So this is the sinusoidal representation of the transfer function of the lag network. So from the magnitude plot we observe that the maximum phase lead occurs at the mid frequency, which lies between the upper cutoff frequency, that is omega is equal to 1 by t, and the lower cutoff frequency omega is equal to 1 upon beta t. So from the magnitude and phase plot we can say that the lower corner frequency and upper corner frequency, if we take its logarithmic mean, we can have the mid corner frequency value, and it can be expressed in logarithmic form, that is log to the base 10 of omega m, is equal to 1 by 2 in bracket log to the base 10 of 1 by beta t plus log to the base 10 of 1 by t. So this is a logarithmic equation. So log of a plus log of b, it can be solved like log of a into b. So if we consider this logarithmic rule, we can have the solution of this equation 1. It will be omega m is equal to 1 by root beta t. So this is just a logarithmic equation mentioned with equation 1. So by solving it with logarithmic forms and by taking antilog on both sides, we can have the equation 2. The transfer function of lead compensator that we can consider once again. So GC of j omega is equal to 1 plus j omega t upon 1 plus j omega beta t. Now for this compensator network, one can find the angle contributed by the compensator, that is the phase angle can be calculated as phi is equal to angle of GC of j omega is equal to tan inverse of imaginary part, that is omega by omega t divided by real part 1. So phi is equal to angle of GC of j omega is equal to tan inverse of omega t minus tan inverse of omega beta t. So this second term is from the denominator and the first term is due to the numerator. So tan inverse of imaginary upon real, so omega t upon 1, and in second case tan inverse of imaginary omega beta t divided by 1. So the overall phase angle is nothing but the angle contribution by the numerator minus angle contribution by the denominator, or you can say the angle contribution due to the 0 and the angle contribution due to the pole of the lag network. We know that at mid corner frequency, that is omega is equal to omega m, we are having the maximum phase lag, that is phi is equal to phi m. So by substituting those values in equation 3, we have phi suffix m is equal to tan inverse of omega mt minus tan inverse of omega m beta t. But we know that the mid corner frequency value omega m from equation 2, it is 1 upon root beta t. So by substituting equation 2 in equation 4, we have phi suffix m is equal to tan inverse of 1 by root beta t into t minus tan inverse of 1 upon root beta t into beta into t. So this t and t is getting cancelled, and similarly this beta and root beta t will get cancelled with each other, and equation 5 has the new form, that is tan inverse of 1 upon root beta minus tan inverse of root beta. So this is just a tan inverse of a minus tan inverse of b. So by using the trigonometric relationship, tan inverse of a minus tan inverse of b is equal to tan inverse of in bracket a minus b upon 1 plus a into b. So we are having the solution of this equation 5 that can be expressed as phi suffix m is equal to tan inverse of 1 minus beta upon 2 root beta. So by taking the tan on both sides of equation 6, one can write the tan of phi m is equal to 1 minus beta upon 2 root beta as equation 7. From this equation 7, one can have the Pythagoras theorem in the rectangular triangle, like tan of phi m is equal to 1 minus beta is the front side and 2 root beta is the adjacent side. So by solving this trigonometry, we can have sin of phi m is equal to 1 minus beta upon 1 plus beta, or for beta we can write beta is equal to 1 minus sin phi m upon 1 plus sin phi m. So this beta is expressed in terms of the maximum phase lag value, that is phi m, or if we know the value of beta, we can write the maximum phase angle in terms of sine function, that is sin of phi m is equal to 1 minus beta upon 1 plus beta. Now the magnitude can also be solved at omega is equal to omega m. By using magnitude function, we have GC of j omega is equal to mod of 1 plus j omega mt divided by 1 plus j omega m into beta into t. So this is just a ratio of magnitude of numerator upon denominator, and that can be solved at omega m is equal to 1 by root beta t. So we have the GC of j omega m is equal to mod of 1 plus j root mod of 1 plus j divided by root beta upon 1 plus j root beta. So it has a imaginary component and real component. So we know that the magnitude is always an under root of real part square plus imaginary part square. So by using that relationship we can solve the equation 9, and we have the value of magnitude in terms of decibel value, that we can write 20 log to the base 10 of mod of GC of j omega m is equal to 20 log to the base 10 of 1 by root beta. So these are the few references. Thank you for listening.